Welcome back to the deep dive. Today we have a mission that honestly cuts right to the heart of modern life. We're going deep into the blueprint for building athletic habits that actually stick. And we're drawing from some amazing analysis by sundread.com.
Yeah, and it's something we all feel, right? That incredible surge of energy. It's the fresh start effect.
Right, January 1st, a new job.
Exactly. You hit that psychological reset button and you feel like you can do anything.
Yeah.
And that motivation, it's powerful, but it's also notoriously unreliable.
And that's really the central problem we're tackling. We set these huge goals, run a half marathon, drop 10 pounds, and we power through on pure motivation for maybe 6 weeks.
If you're lucky.
Yeah, if you're lucky. But the data that SunDried highlights is, well, it's pretty sobering. Most health resolutions are completely gone by mid-February. But you argue this isn't about a lack of willpower.
No, not at all. It's fundamentally a failure of systems engineering. Think of it like this. Motivation is volatile. It's like the weather.
It changes day to day.
It changes based on your sleep, your stress at work, anything. But discipline is a product of a robust system design. If your whole plan is fragile, the normal chaos of life, a big deadline, a sick kid, it's just going to break it.
So our goal for you, the listener, is to stop relying on that fleeting feeling and start treating your fitness like an engineering project. We're moving beyond wishful thinking to a rigorous, expert-level blueprint that looks at your real constraints, time, space, energy, to build something that lasts. Okay, so let's unpack that. Where do we start?
We start with a mental framework, the psychological shift. The source material argues the biggest error people make is focusing on the outcome, what I want to have.
Instead of the identity, who I want to be.
Exactly. That is a revolutionary shift. Sustainable change demands you move your self-perception from, I want to exercise, to, I am an athlete.
Okay, so what does that actually mean in practice?
It means when your behavior lines up with that core identity, you get rid of all that internal debate, that cognitive dissonance. Training stops being a chore you have to do and becomes an expression of who you already are.
I think I get that in theory, but let's make it really concrete. It's 6 a.m., it's cold, it's raining. What's the difference between the person who wants to exercise and the person who is an athlete?
The difference is immediate. The person who wants to exercise starts a negotiation. Do I feel like it? Is it worth it? I could sleep more. It costs energy just to decide.
Right.
The person who is an athlete doesn't have that debate. They just execute the program.
Yeah.
Because that's what athletes do. The decision cost is zero.
It just makes the whole system frictionless. And to support that identity, the blueprint says we need to evolve the old SMART goal framework.
Yeah, we need to make it hyper-specific. For someone who's time poor, specificity has to be logistical. Get stronger is useless.
So what's better?
Perform the strength program on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 7 a.m. in the garage for 30 minutes.
Yeah.
It's actionable. It has a time and a place.
And measurability has moved way beyond just the bathroom scale now. You list some really powerful non-scale metrics.
We need multidimensional tracking. Sure, track your weights and your speed, but more importantly, track your recovery. Things like heart rate variability or HRV.
Okay, briefly, for anyone who hasn't tracked it, why should a busy professional care about HRV?
Because HRV is probably the single best indicator of your total accumulated stress. That's work stress, life stress, plus training stress. If your HRV tanks, it's a signal from your body that you need to rest, not push harder. It prevents burnout.
So tracking becomes a management tool, not just a history report. But what happens when that perfect system hits a roadblock? We need resilience engineering.
Failure is just a data point. It's not who you are. The first rule here is so simple, but it's profound. The never miss two rule.
Never miss two.
Missing one workout, it happens. Life gets in the way. But missing 2 in a row, that starts a new negative habit. The goal is just immediate recovery. Get right back on track after the first slip.
And what if you hit a really overwhelming period? A huge project at work, 3 weeks of travel.
Then you switch to maintenance mode. This is so vital. The temptation is to just quit entirely, the all-or-nothing collapse. Instead, you just preserve the habit of moving. Even if it's just 10 minutes of mobility work, that keeps the commitment alive.
So if identity is the software, the environment is the hardware. We all do what's easiest, what's most obvious. So let's talk spatial engineering.
We have to apply the first law of environmental architecture. Make it obvious. If you have to spend energy finding your shoes or your gym bag, you've already added a barrier.
So lay your workout kit out the night before.
Lay it out. Keep a kettlebell in the corner of your office. Keep a yoga mat permanently unrolled. The barrier to starting should be effectively zero.
And that extends to the kitchen, too.
Absolutely. Visibility drives choice. Put the good stuff, fruit, veggies, nuts at eye level. Hide the junk. You're just engineering the path of least resistance.
Sundried.com also talks about designing the micro gym, which seems perfect for anyone in a city apartment.
It's all about optimizing space. Get high-quality adjustable dumbbells or resistance bands. They save a huge amount of floor space. Use verticality. A simple door frame pull-up bar gives you a massive return for zero footprint.
And the final step is resetting the room.
Right. The workout isn't really finished until the space is ready for the next one. Weights are re-racked, water bottle is filled, the next session is planned on your phone. You're making it easy for your future self.
Okay, we've fixed the mindset, we've sorted the gym space. But if the time isn't locked down, none of it matters. So, temporal engineering. People say, I don't have time.
Which is almost always a statement about priority, not capacity. We need to practice defensive scheduling.
And why do to-do lists fail for fitness?
Because they lack that time specificity. A workout on a list is easy to ignore. But if you use time blocking, it becomes a non-negotiable hard commitment. You treat it with the same seriousness as a meeting with your CEO.
But hold on, what happens when the actual CEO calls an emergency 7 a.m. meeting? Doesn't that rigid structure just set you up for failure?
But that's why it's defensive scheduling, not just rigid scheduling. You need two things. First, you put your big rocks, your training in your calendar first. Then you schedule buffer zones.
The margin for error.
Exactly. 15 minutes before and after the workout block. For transitions, for changing, for mentally switching gears, a schedule with no margin is fragile. It will break.
We can also automate decisions, right? Strategy 5. Combat that decision fatigue.
You have to eliminate low-value decisions. Adopt the uniform concept. Just buy multiple sets of the same workout clothes. Don't think about it. And automate the programming. Use an app. Hire an online coach. Just press play.
And of course, this all has to be supported by nutrition. Strategy 6, metabolic synchronization.
It's the batch prep protocol. Spend maybe an hour on Sunday and Wednesday cooking your proteins in bulk. Chicken, lentils, whatever. Store them so they're ready to go.
And I love the concept of freezer banking.
It's a lifesaver. Whenever you cook dinner, cook double and freeze half. That's your emergency supply. When you get home exhausted, the healthy option is actually faster than ordering takeout.
All right, let's talk about efficiency. Strategy 4, physiological efficiency. This is about busting the myth that every workout needs to be an hour long.
Yeah, modern science has totally confirmed the power of minimalist training. We're talking about exercise snacks,
Exercise snacks.
short bursts of vigorous activity, a 4-minute Tabata session, 10 minutes of skipping. They can generate really powerful metabolic benefits, and they just demolish the "I don't have time" excuse.
And then there's this fascinating idea of greasing the groove. It seems perfect for a professional who only has a couple of minutes between calls.
Greasing the groove means you do a movement frequently all day, but, and this is critical, never to failure. Maybe 50% of your max push-ups every hour. You get a huge amount of volume without the fatigue.
And the key benefit you mentioned is myelination. Break that down for us quickly.
Think of it like insulating the wiring in your brain. When you practice a movement without fatigue, you strengthen that neurological pathway. The movement becomes faster, stronger, more automatic. It's incredibly efficient.
So, for structured workouts, Sundried suggests sticking to the vital few compound movements. Squat, press, pull, 3 times a week for 30 minutes, high ROI.
Absolutely. Which brings us to strategy 7, restorative integration. Training doesn't make you stronger. Recovery does. And sleep is the single greatest performance enhancer there is.
And cutting sleep to make time for training, which so many people do, is just a terrible trade-off, a false economy.
You're robbing recovery to pay for effort. The books never balance. You have to defend a 7-hour minimum. The protocols are simple. Manage your blue light from screens, keep your bedroom cool, and have a strict caffeine cutoff time.
Okay, let's zoom out to the external drivers. Strategy 8, social scaffolding. If willpower runs out, social pressure is surprisingly renewable.
The accountability partner is a crucial piece of social engineering. The psychological cost of letting a friend down is often way higher than breaking a promise to yourself.
And you can leverage your local ecosystem too, running clubs, park run. It changes the whole context. The workout becomes a social event, a sport.
Finally, strategy 10, financial and resource prioritization. This is basically applying pay yourself first to your fitness.
So investing in a coach or good gear creates a sunk cost motivation.
Right. If you spend a significant amount of money, you're far less likely to just skip it. It changes your mindset.
Right.
It's not an obligation. It's an investment in your total capacity. You're confirming that this is essential for you to perform at a high level.
So let's bring this all together for the listener with the sun-dried roundup. The key is this systems approach, tailored to your own constraints. If someone's listening now and needs a starting point, what does that look like?
Okay, if you're on a budget, your focus is body weight mastery and the outdoors. Running, calisthenics, your only investment is time.
And if you're a bit more serious, but maybe not ready for a full coach?
That's the middle of the road approach. You invest in that home micro gym adjustable dumbbells, a kettlebell, and you combine that with a structured app-based program, expert guidance with flexibility.
What about for the person who is just absolutely crushed for time?
You use micro workouts. HIIT gives you a huge return in a very short time. Or you use greasing the groove. Accumulate that volume in 5-minute chunks throughout the day instead of trying to find one big block you'll probably miss.
And for the premium approach, for someone who wants to outsource everything.
Hire a coach and outsource your logistics. Use meal prep services, book regular sports massages. You are buying back time and mental energy so you can focus only on execution.
So the ultimate lesson from this sundried.com blueprint seems clear. The pros don't rely on motivation. They rely on routine and a really well-designed system.
They automate the decisions that drain energy, and they build scaffolding, social and environmental, so that discipline becomes the path of least resistance.
Which brings us to the final actionable takeaway. Look at your calendar right now. Lock in your training times as non-negotiable appointments. If it's not in the diary, it just doesn't exist. Treat it with the same respect you'd give a meeting with the most important person in your professional life.
And let me just leave you with this one provocative thought to chew on. Consider which professional asset you treat with the most meticulous respect and financial investment. Maybe it's your company servers or the time you block for your most important client.
Okay.
Now, compare that to how you treat your own training schedule, and then reevaluate the true cost, not just to your health, but to your professional endurance and your cognitive sharpness of neglecting that physical foundation.
A truly challenging thought to end on. But thank you for joining us for this deep dive into building systems for sustainable success. We'll catch you next time.